Why would AIAIAI make these? That's the question I'm going to try and answer today. We'll be talking about these, the brand new Unit-4 wireless studio monitors by AIAIAI, how I've been using them, the pros and cons, and where I think AIAIAI could have been better in making them. And most importantly, who the hell are these for? Full disclosure, AIAIAI is paying me to check these out, but I can roast these speakers all I want and they can't say anything, which is great. So I've had my pair for a few days and I've been able to kind of dig a little deeper and try to answer all those questions-ish. Weirdly, where my mind keeps going with these speakers is that I feel that AIAIAI made a product for a music producer who doesn't even realize they're going to be producing music yet, meaning the next generation, right? Or if you make music with just your laptop, all in the box, or an iPad or a tablet, and you don't have an audio interface yet or studio monitors yet. These would be a really cool option in that scenario. Albeit expensive, but really cool because they're small, they sound really good, have low latency wireless mode, and they have a Bluetooth mode for regular listening. So they check off a few boxes in one go. Are they worth the $800 price tag? I guess that's for you to decide where you are in your current music making journey and where you want to go when it comes to making music. Similarly, when AIAIAI announced the Wireless Plus headphones, these here, I got them cabled because I was DJing, I had a similar experience, which was, why would I need that? I have my wired headphones and they sound great. Cables aren't that bad. But then I used these and I could not go back to wired headphones. I use these for so many different things, from filming to listening to music to Zoom calls and of course music production. Sure, the experience wasn't as profound as these when it comes to the Unit-4s, but I think that's because headphones can be used in a studio setup already, where the Unit-4s might be a different situation. Okay, let's get to the points, and I want to hear what you think as well. My use cases where I found these helpful and more importantly solved problems for me was when I had no way to connect my iPad to studio monitors. Remember that video I did, this video here, where I compared the RME interface to the Apollo? Well, after that video, I sent both of those back and I was left with no interface until mine came a month later. So then I realized, hey, I could make music on my iPad. Let's go ahead and connect that to my A5X monitors. But then I realized my iPad has no headphone jack. Thanks, Tim Apple. So that's when it all clicked. I could have my iPad connected to studio monitors using the low latency mode of the Unit-4s. The transmitter for the Unit-4s, this little dude right here, needs power, whether from your laptop or tablet or a battery bank or the wall. It does not have an internal battery, which blows. But whatever, you're most likely going to be using this thing with something that can power it. For example, an iPad. It powers it, so no problem there. And this is actually being powered off of my DJ mixer because it has a USB jack on it. I just have this longer cable because I needed to go from C to USB-A. This has actually been a really fun setup, except for the fact that I cannot use this tiny 3.5mm jack on the transmitter to send audio into Logic. This acts as an audio output device, not an audio input device, which is so whack. Yo, Future Rick here. I just wanted to clarify myself. I noticed I said that a little weird. Essentially, whatever you plug into this jack is just going to go straight to the speakers. Whatever is on this end, your laptop or your iPad or whatever it might be, is not going to be coming out of this. This ain't just some USB to aux converter. This will go straight to the speakers, but it won't go into your iPad. And then your iPad audio won't be coming out of here. Hope that makes sense. All right, let's get back to it. I'm sure it would have been a bit more expensive to have this option, but maybe they can think of a transmitter in the future that can act as like a line input audio interface type thing, since you'll most likely be using this transmitter, right, with a battery powered DAW type of laptop or tablet thing, right? So why not make this an audio interface? A workaround here is that I've been using the Digitact with my iPad as an audio interface, so I can run both of these using a hub and my iPad. And now you might be thinking, okay, well, if you need to plug in your Digitact to a wall, why not plug in speakers? Well, it's a lot simpler to plug in one thing and not three, plus all the audio cables that are involved in getting the setup going kind of add resistance to the creative process, right? I mean, look at this setup. It's so chill. One thing is plugged into the wall. That's it. The best part about this setup is that the Digitact acts as an audio interface, so I can record anything like a synth, vocals, or guitar. Again, I wish I could just use the 3.5mm input jack, but you can't. That goes straight to the speakers, bypassing all the audio input options of your DAW. Another place these speakers have been incredible is at my record playing / sampling little station I have here right behind me. I used to have the iLouds here, but I took them down because I didn't like how cluttered it ended up looking. So I would put them away and then bring them back. And plus it looks super weird because they have this really thick cable when you're using both of them. So I only ever rocked one of them. But you know, to then take it down and then set the devices all back up required some cable running, which was like just the right amount of resistance I needed to stop me from doing it. So I just always used headphones. I know, simple things can sometimes be the hardest, but with the Unit-4s, it's extremely simple to get audio going. I literally just plop this thing down. This is it, right? Just put it here, the transmitter is plugged in, run audio into that, and I'm done. And I usually only use one of them in mono mode because I'm trying to listen and sample records. I don't necessarily need any wild panning options here. And the big plus here is that if I do have a device here, I can actually produce music on this setup because the speakers sound pretty good. So with all that said, what are the pros and cons of these speakers? Well, the pros: you get a small, very good sounding, bassy, portable, low latency, wireless audio monitor with up to 20 hours of battery life. Sick, super down. The cons, well, the biggest con for me is that the transmitter is lacking an internal battery, right? It does come with a Velcro strap for you to strap it to like a power bank, which I'm guessing you probably already have one. And this is only required if you're not using this with like a laptop or a tablet of some sort, right? Like it's going to be bus powered off of those things. But if you wanted to go with a simple, weird wireless battery powered DAW-less setup, you'll need to find a way to power the transmitter or just plug directly into the speakers. You're already there. Another con would be that the transmitter doesn't pass audio into your DAW through its 1/8" jack. It's so close, like it's right there, but it's not possible. And that's where I think they could have improved a bit, right? But because you can't, it's also a reason strengthening my thought on who these might be made for, which we'll get to after this, because the last con is the price. It's a little steep. But what are you paying for, right? You're paying for the tech, the sustainability, which, by the way, I applaud. There is so much of it, from the product packaging all the way to the speakers themselves. For example, everything will be repairable in case something does go wrong with your speakers, which is going to be reducing waste as a whole. I'm super down with that. But you're also paying for something that doesn't exist yet in the music production world: a low latency wireless studio monitor. But who needs that? Well, my best guess, like I mentioned at the top of this video, is the newer producer who doesn't have a studio yet, or someplace who doesn't have a permanent studio, right? Or producers who are all in the box. Because AIAIAI doesn't give options for getting audio into your tablet or your laptop, but they do make it super easy to get sound out. These speakers are sick with how simple they are and how they could be set up everywhere and anywhere in no time. They'd also make a good case for the person who likes higher quality sound all the time, even just for listening back to music or doing mixes in other rooms or doing the ultimate car test. You name it, use them however you want. Me, I'll be using them as a Bluetooth speaker for sure, or here at this little setup at my sampling / listening to records station, as well as doing mix downs of tracks in Logic on my iPad. I mean, come on. How fun is it to be chilling in a lounge chair doing a mix? Ultimately, the possibilities you have when using the Unit-4 wireless monitors are no less than wired monitors, but oftentimes better and more flexible than the competition. I personally think they're kind of a step into the future. Too soon? Only time will tell. Peace.